Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to the second lecture of for the course of electronics. My name is Engineer Jafar Ali and I am your instructor for this course. Let's start with a recapitulation of the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the energy band and energy band gap. We looked over that how this energy band gap can classify material into three types, that is conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Then we started a semiconductor in detail. We look at that how a semiconductor is formed, how a PN junction is formed and how the device actually works, and how you can increase the conductivity of a semiconductor using doping method. We used two types of doping, intrinsic and extrinsic. And in the last, we look over that how a semiconductor device, that is a basic PN junction diode, actually works. So the a PN junction is basically a P-type and N-type material that is placed together, and due to a smaller diffusion, a small current or a leakage current will be initiated. But after some time, that current will be vanished, and there will be no charge left that can conduct towards from P to N. We looked at that how a barrier is formed known as depletion region, and how you can overlap that depletion region using biasing. We look at two types of biasing. One was forward bias, in which you have to connect the P type with positive and N type with negative terminal of the battery. And in the reverse bias, you have to do the opposite, that is that you have to connect P type with the negative and the N type with the positive. Starting today's lecture, let's start with the overlook of today's lecture. Today we'll be looking at rectification, that what is rectification, what are the applications of rectifications. Then we will look over at types of rectifier. There will be two types that we will be discussing today. One is half wave rectifier and the second one is full wave rectifier. After that, we will be looking at Clipper diode and its types, and in the last, we will be looking at Clamper diode and its type. Starting with the rectification. So, at the last of all these lecture, after you have studied, after we discuss all these topics, there is a bonus topic for you, inshallah, in the class, and the bonus topic will be comprised of a project. Basically, I will tell you about a project that you can build by your own by using just these topics. And the project will be inshallah your mobile phone charger. You will be able, by the completion of this lecture, in the end of this, um, you will be able to build your own mobile phone charger, and that too in less than 200 rupees. Basically, I will be telling you that how you can make your own power supply, and that will work upon any device that operates at 5 volt DC. As you know that your mobile phone mostly operates under these voltages, so I will be telling you about the mechanism of how you can use all these topics. This will include the mobile charger, will include all these topics, and that by that you will be able to build your own mobile phone charger, and that will be operating at 5 volts. I repeat again, uh, but there will be a little twist. I will be giving you a project as assignment. You will have to not to make it on the breadboard or practical, but on the computer, just as I've shown you. You will just have to draw the block diagram of the circuit. The assignment will be that you will have to make 9 volt charger, and some of students will make 20 volt charger. This is basically for laptop and other devices. Some of the electronic devices works at 9 volts, laptops works at 20 volt. So I will be teaching you that how you can develop a mobile charger that operates at 5 volt, and the assignment would be that you will be telling me that how to modify this circuit that I will be teaching you to get this voltages instead of 5 volts. So this will be a little interesting topic in the end of the class, I hope. that you stay with me and learn all these basic topics, so that at last you will be gaining some good things as well. Rectification is the process of conversion of alternating current, that is AC, to direct current DC, and this involves the device that we have learned about in the previous lecture, that is diode. Yes, the diode is the device that converts basically the AC into DC, and this circuit is basically known as rectifier. And as you know that diode allow only one direction of flow, so this is why rectification, the name is rectification, because it is unidirectional, and only one direction is allowed to flow the electrons. Now looking at the types of rectification, there are two major types of rectification. One is single phase rectifier and the second one is a three phase rectifier. The single phase rectifier means it rectifies only the single phase of AC into single DC, and the three phase rectifiers are basically the circuits that actually convert the three phase of ACs into three DCs. AC and DC have a lot of differences. AC has some frequency and DC has no frequency at all. So that is why a rectifier is also known as the frequency canceller, because it cancels the frequency. Now starting with the single phase rectification, as I have told you that in single phase rectification only a single phase AC is converted to DC. The first type of single phase rectifier is half wave rectifier. This type of rectifier is such a type is of such type that it only converts half of the wave into DC, and it chops the other half of the signal. The diagram is shown over here. You can see that in the first you can see that this is our input, which is AC, and you can see that there is a frequency of ups and downs, and this is the output DC. This is not pure DC, this is known as pulsating DC. But let me start with how this processing is occurring. This is known as pulsating This is basically A, pulsate, and this is T, pulsating. This is pulsating DC. So let's start about the operation of this circuit. In the first half of the circuit, that you can see that this wave will be coming, and when this wave will come over here, due to this transformer effect, this will be converted over here, this is shifted over here, and when this positive wave will come over here, so you see that, and because this is AC, so when they will be coming positive, there this line will be carrying the negative. So when this positive occurs at this instant and this negative occur at this instant, so you can see that it becomes forward bias. Forward bias means the P type is connected with the positive and the N type is connected with the negative. So in such a case, there will be this wave will be forward bias. The circuit will be forward bias, and only one this wave will be carried forward. This will be carried forward, and you can get this here on the output. After that, when this there comes the negative band, negative side, negative signal, negative negative signal on this side. After that, so there will be positive on this side, and now the circuit has become a reverse bias, because this negative is connected to the this positive P type, and this N type is connected to now this positive charge. So the circuit has become a reverse bias in the second case, and you know that there is the width of depletion region basically increases as we go in the reverse bias. There is no conductivity, the circuit becomes open. This is not possible in the reverse bias, so there will be no conductivity at this end, there will be no output. And then again, when there comes another peak of positive, so this will be again this becoming a forward bias, and the conduction will be occurring over here, and you will get the third peak over here. Basically, this is the first peak, then this is the second peak, and the actual negative peak has been eliminated in such a process. So this is basically a pulsating DC. You can see that due to this rectifier, only half of the waves is becoming rectified. The output of a single wave rectifier can be calculated by this formula. If you have applied an input voltage in the input, and you want to calculate the output DC voltage of a half wave rectifier, you can use this formula. The output will be equal to the peak voltage divided by the pi, that is 3.14. You can easily find the value of output voltage from this formula. Now coming towards the other type, that is full wave rectifier. In full wave rectifier, you can see that both of the positive and negative will be rectified over here. When there comes a positive sign, a positive signal on this side, so if this is positive, so the another one will be negative. So in this case, when this is in forward bias, the other one will be in reverse bias. So this will conduct the charge. This diode D1 will be conducting the charge and D2 will be eliminating it. So the first at the first signal, this will be activated and this will be deactivated. So you will be getting a half from D1. When the negative occurs, so the second one will become, this will be getting negative, but this D2 will be getting positive at the same instant. You see that these are connected in opposite paths. So when this become positive, this will become negative, and this, when this become negative in this case, the second case, now this has become negative, so other one become positive, and then D2 will conduct the rectified wave. So this will be the output of D2. So this is the output of, let's say, D1. So this will be the output of D2, and by combining all these and then again there will be D1 and D2, and the list will go on, and by combining both of these generation from D1 and D2, you can get the output of fully rectified wave. All of the wave will be fully rectified. This positive will be converted into positive, this negative will be converted into positive because of D2 or D1, and this positive will become will remain the positive because of D1, and this negative will become positive because of D2. So this is the major difference between a half wave and a full wave rectifier. So you see that the output voltage of the full wave rectifier is twice of the as compared to the half wave rectifier. In a half wave rectifier, we have seen that the formula of output voltage is equal to V peak divided by pi, but in this case this is the twice of V peak divided by pi. You can see that this is your input AC voltage, and this AC voltage is now converted into a DC voltage, but this DC is basically pulsating DC. This is not pure DC, this is basically pulsating DC, and we will look at how this pulsating DC is now converted into some kind of pure DC or less pulsating DC. We can make it more smooth. Basically we can make it like straight line by the use of a capacitor, and this is known as filter. In technical terminologies, this is known as filter in power supplies. In what does the power supply do? It basically shifts the AC or transform the AC, high voltage AC, into low voltage DC in your mobile phone charger, your laptop charger, or your any small electronic device. What does this power supply do? This basically converts the higher voltage AC into the low voltage DC, and for that you have to cancel the effect of the pulsation, because this is really dangerous for your electronic devices. So you want to nullify all these ups and downs or fluctuations in your circuits. So for that you use filter, and by filter I mean this is actual capacitor. And how you can measure the capacitor, we will look over that how much you will measure that what kind of or what value of capacitor you will be needing in your circuits. This is another example of full wave rectifier. This is basically the bridge design. In the bridge design rectifier, you will be needing 4 diodes: diode 1, diode 2, diode number 3, and diode number 4. And this works the same principle as the previous one, but in this there is 2 paths. When the positive when the positive will occur over here, the negative will occur over this side, and you will be getting one side will only be conducting and other will not be conducting. And similarly, when the negative will occur at this side and positive occur at this side, so then this will be conducting and all of other will be blocking the conduction. So you will get a complete rectified waveform. You can see that you have given the input AC, but now you are getting DC, but again this is not pure DC, this is pulsating DC. So you can add a capacitor in front of this to make it more smooth. Now let's start with the next topic, that is clipper. A clipper is basically a circuit that is used to clip out the peaks or the maximum values. In mostly circuits we do not want to use these peaks, because this is some kind of dangerous stuff to our electronic devices that are very sensitive. So to clip out this circuit, we have to do some kind of uh, operation, and that operation, the circuit that performs that operation, is basically known as clipper. And what does the clipper do? The clipper cut out the peaks that is shown in blue color over here. We do not want such peaks, so we have used a simple circuit of a resistor and a diode that will help us to cancel these all the peaks, and we will be remaining only with the red portion of signal. Let's see how this works. I've already discussed you that why we use it. We want to nullify the effect of the peaks. So what does a clipper, how does it works? A simple clipper circuit consists of one diode and one resistor and one AC input. You see that here is one resistor, here is one diode and one AC input. Now there are two types of clipper based upon the clipping mechanism that they follow. The first one is positive clipper. The name shows that in such type of clippers, the positive peaks will be clipped out from the circuit, and you will be getting only the negative peaks in the output. And this is the same principle as you discussed previously, that diode works only on forward bias. So when the forward bias will occur, the current will be the path will be completed and the current will follow all these and will be gone through back. And when the negative occur, there will be no passing from this side, and the negative that will be cancelled out. But the positive, well, when the positive will become here, the negative will be coming here, and this will be basically generating these waves. So you can get the negative, but you cannot get the positive, because positive has completed the path and it has gone back. So you will be getting nothing over here instead of positive. The negative, you see that, let's say this is first, this is second, this is third, and this is fourth. So you are getting 1 and 3, and you are not, you have eliminated successfully the 2 and 4. Similarly, there is another clipper, that is negative clipper circuit, and this works the same but in the opposite direction. You see that we have installed the diode in the reverse bias. Now we have only we will only be able to get the positive peaks in such a circuit, and the negative peaks will be trimmed out, or you can say clipped out. You will be clipping these negative portions from here and here. Now this circuit, if you want to clip only a portion of a peak, you do not want to delete or eliminate the whole peak, you can also do that by just installing a battery and a small load resistor. By using such circuit, you will be able, by manipulating this value of load resistor, you will be able to cancel the peak as much as you want. Mostly this variable is installed in several electronic devices that you hold in your households, that is UPS, or you can say stabilizer. And you see that there is only are several variables, capacitor and resistor installed, and mostly you see that only you have to change the screw of that variable resistor or capacitor to adjust the setting. And what does that actually do? If you increase or decrease the voltage, you are basically increasing or decreasing the effect of the trimming or the clipping section. If you want to cut more of the section, you can increase or decrease as required per your application and device. But this is the circuit that is actually performing the clipping mechanism for you. You can adjust the RL, I repeat, you can adjust the RL based on your application and device, and you can adjust the peak if you want to. Let's say if we have a device that in which by increasing RL the clipping section increase, so you can, and if you want to increase this much portion and you want to clip out this much of portion, you can easily adjust or increase this value of RL by just driving the screw on the clock side, and you will increase the value of RL, and this will trim out the most of the section of the peak. And similar goes with the negative. If you want to clip the negative portion of the negative peak, you can easily do that by simply alternating or changing the direction of the diode adjustment. You see in the positive clipper the diode was in downward direction, and in the negative peak you see that the diode is the in upward direction. So by simply adjusting the diode and the value of RL, you can easily trim the small portions of any input wave. Mostly this clipper circuit occurs not in uh, separate or isolated form, they occur in the combination form, because you want to increase, if you want to cut the or clip or adjust the peak of both higher and lower, that is both positive and negative. So you can have a circuit with the combination of both the negative bias and the forward bias, positive bias clippers. And how does this work? You just adjust the negative diode D1 and other diode D2 and an RL with the in parallel, and by adjusting the value of RL you can basically trim out the, you can clip out your desired undesired section or portion of the signal. By this diagram you can easily be able, you can easily handle the clipping of the circuit, clipping of the input voltage. Now going towards clamper, how does a clamper works? Clamper works the opposite as compared to the clipper. It basically adds a DC value to a AC wave. In clipper, we basically trim or clips or deleted or eliminated the AC portion from a wave. In clamper, we basically adds a DC component to a AC wave. Let's see how does this work. You see that we have given the input over here. It is pure AC wave, and we want these, basically we want to take these peaks and shift it to the positive side. So we have, how do we do that? We have done it by using a clamper, and this negative will be added over here. You see that this negative will be added over here in the next phase, and the peaks of the next phase become higher. So we have increased or added a DC value in the positive peaks. And how does this work? So why do you need clamper? Because in such applications where you need to amplify your signal or to enhance the performance of your signal, that is where you need to have a clamper. And clamper basically is used to increase the wavelength of the input wave. You see that we have basically increased the input wave wavelength of the input wave, and it is mostly used in sound system like amplifiers, etc., where you have to amplify the signal. uh, Now coming towards the type of clampers, there are basically two types of clampers used in our electronics. The first one is known as positive clamper, in which you have the option to take the negative and add it to the positive. You see that by adjusting, and for clampers, instead of and, only diode and resistor, you will be only needing, you will be also needing, you will be also taking capacitor as well in the circuit diagram. And by this diagram you can see that this negative portion is copied, is taken above the negative level, and you see that there is an increase in the amplitude. The Vm has become 2 Vm, and the output, you see that this negative has been taken to the next positive, and the similar list goes on. So you have increased the level of the input voltage, and you have made the AC into DC, but the value of DC, we have basically added the DC portion over here by using simply just a capacitor in a clipper circuit. And how does this capacitor works? Actually, basically the capacitor works on the charging and discharging, and when it gets charged, it basically puts an extra effort, puts extra charges in the current. So the value of the signal increases as with the value, the charge stored in the capacitor is added with the input voltage. So the magnitude becomes higher, and in the negative part, the negative portion of the wave, this becomes discharged, and no signal is received on the other side of the circuit. So in negative there will be no negative, but there will be higher positives. You see that the amplitude has been increased. Negative clamper works on the same principle, but similar to clippers. Only you have to change the direction of the diode, and by changing the direction of diode, you are basically shifting the whole signal in the downward direction. You see that the amplitude has become -2 instead of -V. Negative V has been converted into -2V, because in the negative flow of the circuit, the charges will be stored in capacitor and will be added to the negative cycle of the signal. You have basically added the negative, this stored in this capacitor, and later on it is added in the negative peak, because the circuit is in reverse bias. You see that the negative will be increased, negative voltage or amplitude will be increased, and the positive will be eliminated in such a circuits. Finding all of today's topic, it's now time to practice. I will show you that how you can build your own power supply based on all the knowledge that you gained today. And how does it start. Let's start with the components writing, that what major components that you will be needing. And for mostly normally only three components are used to make a basic power supply. Number one is diode, is capacitor, sorry, transformer. Basically this is step down transformer, and a combination of resistor and capacitor. You will be needing some capacitor and some resistor to get your output desired voltage. So these basically are the basic components that you need if you want to build your own power supply. Starting with the transformer, let's start building a power supply for a mobile charger that works on 5 volts. Let's say you want to make a charger for your mobile phone, or a power supply for your mobile phone that operates at 5 volts. So we will see that how you can make it by your own. Your you are getting 220 volts basically from your power supplier, that is Wabda, and you have to basically step down this to 220 volts into 12 volts by using a transformer, step down transformer. You use a step down transformer like this to basically convert this 220 into 12 volt, but this 12 volt will be same AC volt. This will be AC. This 220 is also AC, but you know that your mobile works or on other devices, electronic devices mostly work on DC. So you have to do some rectification stuff over here. Let's say I've used a bridge rectifier over here, and what does this mean? This means that I have to install 4 diodes in such a way that it acts as a bridge circuit. I am building the bridge rectifier over here. And from there you can get your output. And you know that the output of any rectifier is not an accurate accurate DC. This will be this is the AC basically, and the output of this rectification will not be pure DC. It will be some kind of such stuff that it will be pulsating DC. And I have already told you that to nullify the effect of this pulsation, you have to add a filter, and the filter is basically a capacitor. So you have to add a capacitor, and the value of the capacitor, the capacitance actually depends upon how much filtering do you want. If you want to get a more smoother wave, a more straight line, you have to add capacitance of large value, and if you and that will cost you much. So if you are using for your home appliances, that is not so much of your use, so you can use a low value of capacitor as well. After the pulsation, so now how does this capacitor filter out the pulsation? You see that capacitor, the property of one of the property of the capacitor is that it basically allow AC to pass through it, and it blocks DC. DC is blocked in the capacitor, and the AC is conducted over the capacitor. So when this pulsation comes, at this point the DC components will be blocked. DC will be blocked, so DC will have to go in this direction all the way. But the AC components, that is the pulsations, will be able to conduct over here, and it will be gone to back to the circuit. This is the reverse path. So you will or the ground path. So you will not be getting any pulsation in the output voltage. From the output voltage you will be only getting a pure straight line. Let's say this is the 12 volt AC. Here you will be getting 12 volt DC, but this DC will be pulsating DC, PDC, pulsating DC. But after the capacitor you will be getting pure DC, but this pure DC will be of 12 volt of amplitude. This is pure DC. This pure DC will be of 12 volts, but you need some kind of lowering down the voltage to 5 volts, and for that you can use either resistor or any other device. Mostly I personally use, or most of the devices use, a voltage regulator. Voltage regulator is a kind of device that basically regulates the voltage. Let me show you the diagram of voltage regulator. Normally for 5 volts the voltage regulator is specified at 7805. This is the series for the voltage regulator that is mostly used in mobile chargers or laptop chargers or your UPS, etc. And how does this work? This is basically your input. You are giving the input to the first two terminals, and from the next terminal you are getting the output. But to have a reverse path you can take this as a common. So from here you will be getting pure 5 volt DC, and you can easily adjust this pure 5 volt DC. You can easily put a jack of a charging jack over here, and then you can easily give it to the mobile phone, positive with a positive and negative. So this will be start charging your mobile phone. So this is the basic mobile charger, or you can say power supply for a mobile charger. If you want to charge your basically any other device that operates at 9 volt, so there are other voltage regulators available in the market. 7809, let's say, if your device is operating at 9 volt, you can easily put 7809 voltage over here. And if you want to charge your laptop charger, laptop or any other device that operates at 20 volt, so you need to have a transformer from 220 to basically 20 or 30 volts, and from that you can easily get the your desired output value. So this is the basically the practical example of your whole the lecture over here. I hope that this will be quite interesting, and I suggest you to start making start building this small project. This will cost around, the first time when you make it, it will cost around 150 rupees, and after you make it the first time, you will be able to make it in less than 100 rupees, inshallah, if the price is not too high. Last time when I in the last semester when the students built the same project, it cost about 150. I don't know the prices of the market nowadays because of the lockdown, so it will be somewhere around 150 to 200 in my opinion at the first time. So let's start practicing, and hope to see you in the class. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask. You can discuss your questions or queries in the class, or you can email me at my email. Thank you very much. Allah.